Hey guys, Board Shows here, and today I will be making a video about how to fix Sword Art Online. This will only cover the first arc. If this does well, I'll make one on the Fairy Dance arc. Alright, so let's get started with some rules. 1. Deaths cannot be undone, meaning everyone who dies must stay dead in this version. And 2. Don't change stuff too much, meaning I can't put someone like Yuuki in SAO or Alice in GGO. So let's get started with the plot. So I think the plot could change a bit, such as pacing. In the light novels it was 2 books and in the anime it was 14 episodes, but I think the Aincrad arc should have been way longer. Like Alicization long or longer. It's the main part of the series and it's great. I think the pacing could be better too, like more of a progressive type where each volume covers like 5 floors at most. In the anime, episode 1 and 2 were floor 1 and episode 3 is on floor like 28. Make it more slow so we can enjoy the world more. And next I think it should go up to floor 100. In the series it was cut off at like floor 78 and I thought it was cheap, so going all the way would be great. Now I guess I'll cover characters. First, Karido. I actually like the way he is. He has flaws and all and isn't overpowered, and he didn't get random power out of nowhere. He worked hard to be this strong, so him being overpowered is justified here. Now maybe they could have shown more of how he got dual wielding, like we see him dodging a lot in battle. Just more explanations would be great. Next up is Asuna. She's also great. She's a strong female protagonist, which is rare these days, until they ruined her in Fairy Dance, but I'll get to that in another video. Anyway, I feel like they should show her fight more. She was said to be Karido's equal, so show it. I'd also like Karido and Asuna's relationship, like not their love relationship but more of their friendship, like how it is in Progressive. Next is Silica. Now I like how she was introduced and all, but I think she shouldn't have been a love interest. Maybe she could have seen Karido as more of a big brother than as a live interest. It was even said how Karido was reminded of Suguha from her. I don't like how Karido has a harem, but he is practically married to Asuna at this point. From this point on I will make it so Karido doesn't have a harem. Next is Liz. I like how she is a blacksmith, and for her backstory the way she said it was fine, so no complaints there. But I think she could have viewed Karido as an interest, like she likes the good items he gets from being the strongest, so she likes what kind of things he gets, and maybe even have her make armor for Karido, which could show how he got the coat. Actually I wanna see how Karido got most of his stuff, since it's off screen most of the time. Like how did he get the elucidator? Anyway, that's Liz for you. Next is Agilent Klein. They both are the same, give them more screen time and it's fine. Now next I will go through each episode and find stuff that I would keep, change or even remove. So let's start with episode 1. I wouldn't change a thing, it's perfect. It explains the world, how it's run, and even ends with a great cliffhanger. It's probably one of the best first episodes in anime in my opinion by how hooking it is. And same kinda deal with the second episode, though I would have liked to see more of the dungeon to get to the boss, but it's fine without it. But do you guys remember that blue-haired knight who died? Well, I wish instead of him just refusing to take the potion, I wish they just made him have a status effect where he couldn't be healed. It's fitting for a game and it wouldn't feel just like it's there for shock value. Now for episode 3, the guild still has to die, but I wish they got more backstory, such as how Karido joined, what things they like, etc. When they died we only really cared about Sachi, but I wish we learned about the others so we would care for them too. And with the revival item, that could have been removed because it never came back. It should have been maybe a revival item for pets, or maybe an item that can restore broken items like a sword within 10 seconds or something, anything that would make it useful. Episode 4, I wouldn't change anything, just maybe less fanservice on Silica. Episodes 5 and 6 were very interesting because it was a murder mystery. Now everything was set up well where it could have taken place using the game's physics, but there is also the underlayer where maybe it really is a ghost. Now my complaint is the laughing coffin part. I wish we learned more about them through the series. I find a murder guild interesting, like what drives them, how do you join, who is in it. Like later in GGO we learn that Def Gun is Red-Eyed Zaza. Now this could be a big reveal but we have no idea who he is, same with Visago. I wish we learned more about the members so we could be surprised later when they show back up. Episode 7 maybe could have just been Liz didn't have the parts for a sword equal to the Elucidator so they had to go to the mountain. I wouldn't change much other than Liz loving Karido. Episode 8 I have nothing to say, it's great, and episode 9, maybe it could have been explained where and how he got dual wielding, but other than that it's fine. Episode 10, I like it but I wish the murder guy had more of a reason to kill Karido other than to creep on Asuna. Like maybe Karido did something to him early on in the game and he is getting revenge. Also I don't like how he got so close to dying again at 1 HP when we just had that the episode before. With episode 11 I wish we got more of Karido and Asuna's married life. It looked interesting so I want more. And with 11 and 12 I think they were great with Yui, just maybe have them struggle with Yui more since they wouldn't be the best with kids at 16 and 17 years old. And with 13 I'll change some stuff. They could still fight and beat the boss, but like I said I wanted to go to the 100th floor, so instead of Karido fighting Kayaba here, instead maybe he could only start getting suspicious about how his heath never went yellow or his speed in the duel. But he wouldn't put it all together just yet. And from floors 80 to 99 it could show the cool bosses they fight and show off skills that Karido and Asuna have and develop other characters in that time. For floor 100 however, let's say it in the form of a story. So they all reach the castle and go inside only to see that there is no boss, no health bar or anything, and after a bit Heathcliff goes over and sits in the throne and a health bar shows up displaying the name Heathcliff. Everyone is confused and Karido explains his suspicions and Heathcliff is surprised that he figured it out but also somehow knew it would be Karido. They eventually start fighting a fair fight. All of them versus one man, and that one man kills all of the raid group but Karido, Asuna, Klein and Agilent. Though the last two could be too injured to fight at this point. And Karido and Asuna team up to beat Kayaba. It was always said that Asuna is equal to Karido, so this could show off their skill together and they win and the game is cleared. They get teleported to the sky where Kayaba offers to answer questions that the duo have for him and they ask why he did all this. Where instead of saying he doesn't remember, he says that he always had a complex about wanting to be a god and having lives at his fingertips and being able to create and destroy at his will. It would make sense because this does exist in the real world. And as Aincrad falls apart, Asuna and Karido tell each other their real names and ages and promise to find each other in the real world. And eventually they get logged out safely. Karido wakes up in the hospital and goes to find Asuna. Now I just wish SAO was more in depth, because if it wasn't rushed like this it could have been one of the best animes out there. But of course none of this will ever happen and all we can do is hope. If this video does well I will do a second part on fixing the fairy dance arc, so please like and subscribe and I will see you all later.